G'day. So a lot of people have been asking why are we going to make 20,000 iron ingots and what are we going to use those ingots for. So in this video I'm just going to quickly run through what we're doing with it at the moment. So basically we're gathering all the iron ore in the grasslands, which is where we are now, and in this massive factory here we're making 20,000 iron ingots per minute. They get put onto the train station and then they go up into our main base up there. Now I do have another video if you want to see how this whole thing works, but today we're just going to go through what we're doing with it in the main base. So it basically gets made down here, gets on the train and then goes up there. Alright, so just a couple of points before we move on. Firstly, apologies for the frame drops, etc. The game save file is quite large and it's kind of unavoidable at this stage. So another thing we've done before we move inside is add a little bit more depth and feature to the side of the main base to make it not look so bland. So we've added in some windows and some structure on the outside to make it, you know, look a bit more chunky and yeah, and it's something that we're going to keep working on. Alright, so here we are in the main base area, and if we look out this window down into the grasslands, you can see the Iron Factory, or the Iron Maiden as we've called it, the Copper Cathedral, and way down there where my mouse is pointing now is a little steel factory, and we're using two 780 lines of iron ingots to make steel. So then we end up having 18,720 iron ingots brought up into the main base. So here is what we're doing with the iron ingots so far. Now we've decided to call this setup the Iron Gauntlet, and it is basically a massive factory that makes screws, iron plates and rods. Now for the exact numbers of how much we're making, I'll go onto a little spreadsheet in a little bit, but we'll just have a little look around this for now. So this section here is making, what are we making? You can see the lag really kicking in here. This is making rods. Okay, I'll go through the rest of this part of the factory in a minute. We have another section over here. Wow, lag. Making iron plates. You can see a lot of the iron ingots coming up here. So this whole section here makes iron plates. Whoops. And then this much bigger section over here makes the screws. Wow, apologies guys, the frame rate is absolutely terrible in here. I'm hopefully going to get a computer upgrade soon. But yeah, it's just these types of setups, they really put a drain on the frame rate. So anyway, as you can see, we still have along here, these are our iron ingot input lines. Each one of these belts is 780. If I can stop lagging. These are iron ingots, and we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe, that we haven't even used yet. Oh, that's just terrible. That frame rate is just terrible. More than 5. Alright. It's really when you get to those screws, that screw factory, where it really starts draining the frame rate away. Alright, so we're storing the rods, sheets, or iron plates and screws up in the storeroom up there, and redistributing them and merging them all together. And over here, we're using a whole bunch of iron plates and screws to make reinforced iron plates. Like I said, I'll go through the exact numbers that we're using when I bring up the spreadsheet in a second. You can see in here that there's plenty of room. Some of our factories are like double tiered and go up to the roof. This one here is only one floor, so we can actually expand this above and put another level on top of this one. Okay, so all our reinforced iron plates are coming out here. Some of it goes off into the storeroom on the next floor. Some of it goes, well, most of it goes into the next tier of production, and we have a overflow splitter to crush the excess for tickets. These reinforced iron plates come over here, and they get mixed with some rods to go into, oh dear, frame rate. Modular frames. And we're making a hell of a lot of modular frames. Alright, now I will go over what we're doing with the steel in another video, because we're making a hell of a lot of steel and we've got another factory for the steel. But what we've done so far is we've managed to make one end game production line. Ah, I missed it, damn it. Which is using the encased industrial beams, concrete and pipes, and also over here the modular frames, so 4 inputs. We have 15 manufacturers making the heavy modular frames. It's our manufacturer setup. Now I said there's 15 here, which essentially there is. It's actually 14 manufacturers, but 2 of those manufacturers have a shard in each. and we're making, I believe, 42 encased heavy frames per minute, I believe. Alright, so that will do in here for the chunky frame rate city, and I'll just quickly go over a couple of things on the map and the spreadsheet. Alrighty, let's have a look at the Satisfactory calculator map, and you might get an idea of why we're getting so much FPS lag in the main base. So this is the main base, zoomed in a fair bit here. You can see the central hub in here, and you can see there's a lot of belts and things going on. So we'll just start to zoom out a little bit, and the map will have to load in as we zoom out. Another one. You can start to see the shape of the main base. Just let that load in. See the 4 main train lines coming into the main base, and I think this is one of the main reasons why it is actually lagging so hard in there, because trains really do it. A lot of the storage containers that we've made was a little bit excessive, and we've really cut that down a lot. It really hasn't helped that much, but hopefully a nice computer upgrade will sort it out. So there's our main base in the center of the map there. I'll just get rid of these icons if I can, if it loads. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Alright, so what have we done? We have made another factory here, which we'll do a video on pretty soon, and that's making a whole bunch more steel and plastic. We have a little quartz factory going on over here, and we have a quartz pickup over here. So there's a lot been going on. But that, if this wants to load, which it doesn't feel like it wants to. Come on. Right. And then up there is the oil rig. Alright, so how are we keeping track of everything? Here's our little spreadsheet. This is a work in progress as well, but it's tracking the numbers of what we're doing so far. We'll probably make this work so it works automatically, but for now we're just tracking what we've done. So all our main projects, or like base projects that are out in the world, such as the Iron Maiden, this is how much we're pulling. It actually is making over 20,000, but it puts 2 lines straight into the steel in the grasslands. So anyway, everything in green is what we're making. We just got to work out some concrete issues, exactly how much we're getting. And then we can see how much we're using of the iron. So we're using minus 11k iron ingots. How many plates, rods and screws we're making at the moment. Then the plates and screws we're using for the reinforced iron plates. How many reinforced iron plates we're making. And then etc, etc. So we can tally up our totals in here without having to count the machines and everything like that. I do have a lot of this stuff written down on paper when I plan the factories out, but then to keep track of all of it, we've started using this. So for the heavy modular frames, down here, you can see how much steel pipes, concrete, modular frames and encased industrial beams we're using, and we're getting a grand total of 42 per minute. Alright, so that should do it for now. Apologies again for the frame rate. I know it's terrible, and I haven't made a video in a while, so I had to make one even though the frame rate's terrible, and it's something that we are working on trying to fix before we make too many more videos. So anyway, catch us later.